Once again, my dear friend, I welcome you to the first night of the Triduum to celebrate the feast of Saint Alphonsus. This will be tonight, and then the next two nights. And on Friday, the 1st of August, we celebrate the actual feast. Today, we talk about the spirituality of Saint Alphonsus. Saint Alphonsus has this spirituality, God's love for us, and our love for God is our response. Saint Alphonsus supposedly said, God loved me so much, I cannot help but love him back. That is basically his spirituality. And for the Redemptorist tradition, we have this theme, the crypt, the cross, the Eucharist, and Mary. Tonight is the first night of our Triduum, and we begin with the theme Mary, which is very appropriate. If you remember, on the 1st of January, we always celebrate Mary, correct? So this is also a good way for us to start this Triduum. We start with Mary. Now, St. Alphonsus has a very deep devotion to Mother Mary. Now, I will show you our church in Rome, the Church of Saint Alphonsus, and the original icon in that church. Okay? That church of Saint Alphonsus in Rome. All right? And the original icon of Mother Mary is inside that church. This is only a replica. Saint Alphonsus never seen the icon of a Mother Perpetual Help, by the way. His devotion to Mary is a different Mary. You see the stained glass over here, Our Lady Ransom, where he put his sword there, where he surrendered the sword because he gave up his career as a lawyer because it was corruption. He said, now world, I know you. He renounced the world and became a priest. Now, the story of our Mother Perpetual, the icon, is very interesting. The church, St. Alphonsus, originally was owned by the Augustinian. It doesn't belong to us. We bought it from them. Okay? So it became our church. We renamed it Church of Saint Alphonsus. Now, there was a friar in that church belonging to the Augustinian. He told an altar server about a certain icon in the property. And the altar server just heard the story. And this friar, Augustinian, told the altar server, remember, don't forget the icon. So many years passed. And the Redemptorists bought this property. And then that altar server, in the meantime, has become a Redemptorist. And he remembered what the friar told him about the icon. So he went in search of the icon. Eventually, he found it in the basement. Totally forgotten. It was very dusty. He found the icon, took it out, cleaned it up. And the Redemptorists, after cleaning up, realized, oh my God, this is a very beautiful icon. So they presented the original icon to the Pope. The Pope returned it to us. So we make a copy of it, the first replica. We sent it to the Pope again. Again, he returned it back to us. Right now, the original icon is in the church, and the first replica is in our chapel, in the community chapel. So the original and the first replica are both in that place. Okay, now I show you another icon. During the first Mass of the Holy Father, Leo XIV. See the icon? That icon is Our Lady of Good Counsel. Actually, Pope Leo XIV could easily borrow the icon of Mother of Perpetual to be used for his first Mass, because originally it belonged to the Augustinian. Now this icon, our little council, comes from his community, the Augustinian, which is very near the Vatican. So he wanted this icon for his first Mass. And our church in Rome, St. Alphonsus, is very near the Vatican. 1 bus only, half an hour you're there. And so it's very interesting that the Pope also have a deep devotion to Mother Mary, except that he uses Our Lady of Good Counsel. It doesn't matter whether it's Our Mother of Perpetual Help, or Lady of Counsel, or Our Lady of Ransom. Because Mother Mary has many, many titles, more titles than anybody. There are so many titles that all of us cannot remember all of them. There are so many titles that I can tell you that you don't even never heard of it. But they all relate to Mother Mary. So the devotion to Mother Mary is very, very strong. And so Alphonsus have this deep devotion to Mother Mary. You know, for us Redemptorists, we wear the long rosary, right? 15 decades. St. Alphonsus, in his old age, because he was practically blind, so all he does is just say the rosary, because of his deep devotion to Mother Mary. So because he believed that through the rosary, he's always linked to Mother Mary, and because of that, he's always linked to Jesus. Now, St. Alphonsus is a very, very spiritual man, and he is also a very intelligent man. He was a noble, all right, but he gave up his nobility by placing his sword on the Lady of Ransom. He gave up all that to become a simple priest, and he worked for the poor, the abandoned. Actually, we are organizing a tour to Rome, Italy basically. If you're interested, you will visit Church of Saint Alphonsus. You will see the original icon of the Mother of Perpetual Help. You will also see Saint Alphonsus where he is buried in Pagani, and Saint Gerard Majella in Mater Domini. The theme tonight basically is Mary. St. Alphonsus' devotion to Mother Mary. Now, in the tradition of this particular church here, Church of Saint Alphonsus, we are actually, this church officially is actually the Church of Saint Alphonsus, okay? But everybody call it Novena Church. Novena Church is not our name. There's no such name actually. But people just call it Novena Church for convenience sake. The reason is simple. Because of the novena we do on Saturdays. Correct or not? Now, interestingly, the novena is a way of attracting non-Catholics. Eventually, they will take up RCIA. Eventually, they ask for baptism, and they become Catholic. So many Catholics, through the novena, is very, very much connected with this church because of Mother Mary, the Mother of Perpetual Help. The emotional connection is very, very strong. In a sense, that is the tradition of St. Alphonsus, because his tradition to Mother Mary is also very strong. So to him, it's constant prayer to Mother Mary, constant prayer to Jesus. First, for him, prayer is extremely important. The original icon that was given to us is actually about roughly 150 years old since proclaiming. The icon is very old, actually, it's 14th century. But when we give it to the Pope, he gave it back to us. He told us with this instruction, make her known. And we've been doing this for more than 150 years. Now, this icon is very, very popular. It's probably the most popular image of Mary, the Mother of God. There was a very famous picture a long, long time ago about this Vietnamese refugee. You might have come across it. Those of you are old enough. This refugee was running away from Vietnam because there was a war. And she was carrying this icon of Mother Perpetual in her hand because it was very important to her. She was a refugee. So wherever she goes, she would take the icon. And in many churches all over the world, you can find this icon. Now, many people come to know about the faith because of devotion to Mother Mary, especially the novena. You know, we always preach about this, to Jesus through Mary. And indeed, that is very, very true. Many people know more about Mary than they do about Jesus. And they know Mary first. Then after a while, they get to know who Jesus is. Maybe to catechism, to RCIA, and then they get baptized. So the introduction is actually Mary, before they know Jesus. And this is, if you like, the tradition of Saint Alphonsus. One of the things that Saint Alphonsus used to do when he was beginning his mission is called the night chapel. A night chapel basically is, you know, he goes to the market, the white market, equivalent to Singapore white market. When the market are closed, he will go there and he will meet all these storeholders who are actually simple people. In those days, they don't know how to read and write. And their catechism is very, very poor. They don't even know how to pray. So St. Alphonsus will go there to this, what he called the night chapel, gather all the storeholders together. He will teach them simple catechism. He will teach them how to pray. For example, the rosary. And he did it for a very, very long time. And this night chapel was very, very popular. So his idea is that if I introduce the people to Mary through prayer, they will know Jesus. And Mary will bring them to her son. Basically was his idea. I would assume that many of us here also have this kind of experience. We get to know Jesus through our devotion to Mary, whatever your devotion might be, the rosary, the novena, or whatever. So let us, during this Triduum, this Mass, continue to pray to Mary, to ask her to pray and intercede for all of us, and that to the prayer of St. Alphonsus, we learn from his example to have a deep devotion to Mary, the Mother of God, that to Jesus, through Mary. Amen.